Dear students, let us discuss another topic, that is the two factor and three factor crossovers. First of all, let us consider what is two factor crossover. A crossover involving crossing between two genes or the two loci, like you can see here, a cross between EC and CV, or you can say there may be a cross between SC and EC. These are called the dihybrid cross, that is a pair of the genes when they put for the crossing over, and this is called the dihybrid cross also, and two factor cross. Then you may have the cross which involves the crossing over of the three pairs of genes, like one crossover over there which is involving SC and EC, and the other may be between EC and CV. So, this is the 3-point crossover or the three factor crossover. So, involving two pair of gene is the two factor crossover, and involving three pairs of gene is the 3-point or three factor crossover. This is also called the trihybrid crossover because the three pairs of genes are taken into consideration. And whenever there is a cross, or you want to know where the cross has taken place, and the best method is that after crossing the two parents, you may get a hybrid. This is the gamete formation. So, you may get the hybrid, and this hybrid is then test crossed with the recessive parent in order to know what is the genetic combination of the hybrid or the F1. So, if you are going to study the two factor crossover and then you are test crossing it in order to know the genotype of the F1, then it may be called the two factor test crossover. And if you are considering the three pairs of genes, then it may be called as 3-point test crossover. We have discussed in the previous lectures that the crossover can be detected either by looking at the chiasmata, whether the chiasmata has formed or not, or if you are not able to look at this point of time, then it is the recombinant which will show you that the crossing over has taken place. When you are getting the offspring having the parental combination like this and this, it is exactly like the capital A, capital B, small b, and you are getting the new combination also, which is called recombinant, like capital A, small b, small b, which has developed because of the crossing over. So, while looking at the recombinants, you can say that yes, crossing over has taken place. Now, whenever there is a crossing over between the two genes, so there is an interval where the possibility is that the crossing over may takes place and leads to the recombination of the pair of the genes. So, like here also you can see between A and B, this is the interval where the crossing over may takes place, leading to the interchange of these two genes. So, this interval is called the potential crossover interval. Now, whether you are going through 2-point crossover or 3-point crossover, both the crossovers basically helps in the gene mapping. They help the geneticists to determine the linkage group. So, while observing the genotype of the hybrid, you are able to detect that what are the genes present on the one chromosome, We have already discussed in the chromosome mapping that how we are able to detect that what are the genes present on the chromosome, what are the linked genes and what are not the linked genes. So, here means you are able to find out which linkage group is present in the chromosome. And the crossing over also tells us the distance between the two genes. So, that we too have discussed during the chromosome mapping, and in addition to it you may be able to know which configurations is present over there. That means whether both the genes on a chromosome are of same type, that is dominant, or both are of same type, that is recessive. This is called the cis configuration. Or you may able to know that whether both the genes present on the chromosomes are not similar, one is dominant, other is recessive, one is recessive, other is dominant. This is called the trans configuration. So, three things you are able to know from the 2-factor and 3-factor crossover. One is the chromosome map, which is called the also called the linkage group of a chromosome, the distance between the gene, and the configuration of the gene, whether it is present in the cis form or it is present in the trans form. So, 2-factor crossover is basically the crossover between the two genes, as we have already discussed. If crossing over will takes place over there, leading to the interchange of this pair of the gene, this is called the 2-factor crossover. There is an example in Piscium sativum. You have two types of the genes, two types of the allele, you can say. One is small a, which represent the narrow pod, it is recessive one, so it is small, and you are having the normal pod, which is represented by capital A. So, you are having the shape of the pod, either it is narrow or it is normal, and this is recessive, this is dominant. And you may have the yellow pod, which is represented by small b because it is recessive, and then you are having the green pod represented by capital B. So, again it is the color, you are having the shape of the pod and the color of the pod. Shape of the pod over here is that is narrow and normal, and color of the pod is yellow and the green. Now, this is dominant, this is recessive. When true breeding plants with narrow and yellow pod, true breeding means both the pair of the chromosome will have the similar type of the gene, that is AA and BB. When they are crossed to a true breeding plant having normal pod and the green color of the pod, that is capital A, capital A, capital B, capital B. The offsprings were produced having this type of combination. It is understood that because the gamete from here will be small a small b and gamete from here will be capital B. When they will join together in F1, they will produce capital A small a capital B small b. Now, when they were test crossed with the recessive parents in order to know what is the genotype of the this hybrid or the F1, this was the result that the parental combination was having much more number of individuals in the F2 generation, that is normal and green pod were 445, narrow and yellow pod were having 455. Only two new small recombinants were present over there, in which the normal has gone with the yellow and the narrow has gone with the green. So, normal and yellow pod, that is capital A, small b, small b 51 individual only, and narrow and green pod small a, capital B, small b 49 individual only. Now, let us look at if this is the 2-factor crossover where the crossing over has taken place between these two, how we can say that what is the group of the gene present over there. So, what is the linkage group over there present in the chromosome, what is the distance between them, and what is the configuration in the F1 hybrid. So, from this result you can obtain so many things like what you can say about the genes, whether they are linked or not, that is the capital A and capital B or small a and small b are linked or not, are they present on the different chromosome or on the similar chromosome. So, you know that if you look at your this F2 generation, here the number of recombinant is less than 50% as compared to the number of recombinant number of the parental combinations. So, you know that whenever there is a number of recombinants are less than 50%, it means genes were linked. So, you can easily say that yes, the genes for the color and for the shape of the pod are present on the similar chromosome as the recombinants are less than 50%, because the genes in case of the linked system may not assort independently. That is why the recombinant are less and the parental combination is more. Now, let us look at the configuration now. Since gene for normal and the green pod and narrow and yellow pod are not assorting independently, and the two largest offspring classes are normal green and narrow yellow pod, both are parental combinations. So, again because the parental combination is more, thus in the heterozygous parents A and BB, the two dominant allele are on one chromosome and the two recessive alleles are on the other chromosome, because unless they are not present on the same chromosome, dominant on the same, the recessive on the same, then the result cannot be like that, that the parental combination is more and the recombinant is less. So, here it means they are present in the cis configuration, only then it is possible that you may get the result what you have got in the previous slide. Then let us look at what is the distance between them. Now, the recombination frequency among A and B is calculated as you know, they were the 100 individuals which were the recombinant among the 1000. So, it is 100 divided by 1000 into 100, this is 10% recombination frequency. So, you can say that A and B they are present at 10 centimorgan apart from one another. So, this is how that while looking at the 2-point crossover, you are able to determine the linkage group, you are able to determine the configuration of the genes present on the chromosome, and you are able to determine the recombinant frequency as well. But there are some limitations of the 2-point crossover as well. If one assume that the average number of crossover between two loci is directly proportional to the distance between them, that we have already seen that Morgan-Stuttwart hypothesis was that. So, it means we can predict that map distance would be additive. I will tell you an example. Say for example, if we are saying that there are between P and Q, the crossing over frequency is 8 map unit, and between P and R the crossing over frequency is 3 map unit. So, there are two chances that you simply either it means the crossing over frequency between R and Q would be either 5 unit, because if you deduct 3 unit from the 8 unit, the result will be the 5 unit map unit. No, there are chances also that this R may be present on that side, on the left side. So, in that case you simply add 3 unit to 8 unit. So, it means the R may be present on the left side and the distance between Q and R would be 11 map unit. So, either you may have the 11 map unit or you may have the 8 map unit. So, it means you simply go on adding and deducting. This is the additive property with the help of which you can simply place the number of genes the genes present on the chromosome at a proper loci. So, but This is not exactly the case. Why? Let us see another example. Now, say for example, the recombinant frequency between A and B and C is 15% and 15%. If we are looking at the additive property, it means the recombination frequency between A and C would be 30 plus 30. Now, sorry, 15 plus 15 is equal to 30%. So, between A and B it was 15%, between B and C it was 15%. You simply add on and you can say that yes, the frequency between recombinant frequency between A and C would be x plus y percent, that is 30%. But in fact, you will never get such type of result. You always get that the actual recombinant frequency between these two is not simply addition of these two, it is always lower than that. What is the reason? Reason is that whenever one crossover, whenever the distance between two genes is large enough, then there are chances that two crossover may takes place, and when one crossover takes over there, it cancel the effect of the other crossover. How? Because you know, had it been so, it would have been a one crossover only, then you may be able to detect that there is a recombinant recombinant individuals are there, which will have the capital A, then it will go alongside the which will have the small a, then it will go alongside the capital C. But since the distance was enough, another crossing over has taken place. As a result, again, though the crossing over has taken place, but the result is nil, because it has again come down to its own side before going through the parallel position of the capital C. So, again it is having the even the two crossover has taken place, but you will find that in the offspring you will not find any recombinant, all are having the parental combination. So, in this respect you can say that the second crossover in effect cancel out the first crossover when the distance between two genes is more. So, it is because of this reason that although two crossover have occurred, they will not be counted, because you are able to count only when you are looking at the offspring, that whether they are having the new combination or not. So, here crossing over has taken place, but you are not able to see any new recombinant in the offspring. So, as a result you cannot count these crosses. Further, for this reason, two factor crossing involving loci that are far apart will underestimate the true linkage distance. So, linkage distance is not exactly mapped due to this reason, because when you are not finding any crossover, because no recombinant is available with you. So, you may say that no crossing over has taken place, but fact is that two crossing over has taken place over there, though second crossover has basically cancelled the first crossing over effect. So, it means the true distance between A and C with the help of the two point crossover is not exactly similar. So, it basically underestimate the distance, it show less distance, otherwise the distance is available distance is much more, because we are not able to find the crossover in the recombinant in the F1 or the offsprings, where the recombinants are not present over there. In double crossover, it is also difficult to determine the gene order if two genes are close together. So, similar will be the position over there. So, this was the position if the two genes are present very far from each other. So, many crossing over may takes place. As a result, one crossover may cancel the other crossover, and you may not be able to say that what is the distance between them. And another reason is that if the genes are located very close to each other, they will not have enough chance of crossing over, because we have seen in the linkage group, when the genes are present very close to each other, the linkage is very strong, and once the linkage is very strong, crossing over does not takes place over there. They will not lead to the recombination of these two genes in the offspring. As a result, you will not be able to find what is the distance between the two closely related gene. So, this is another limitation of the two factor crossover, that with the long distance also sometimes you are misled, you underestimate the distance, and with the small distance also you may not able to get the significant result. So, this is about the 2-point crossover and its limitations also. Now, the limitation the 2-point crossover will be overcome by the geneticist while looking at the 3-point crossover that we shall study in the next lecture.